Hello, this is Naudi Aguilar at Functional Patterns. For today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys maybe the most advanced sagittal plane exercise I have in my entire training repertoire. That exercise being called a firecracker. Now this exercise is going to be very great for developing core strength at the same time as developing dynamic movement in the pelvis and in the upper body, and we're going to be coordinating a lot of movements with the upper and lower body. This exercise gives a lot of benefit, but at the same time, if we're not progressed and we're not completely mobile and we don't have the proper necessary core strength to do a movement like this, there's a great potential that you could either build deficiencies later on down the road, or you might even get injured right then and there. So if you haven't covered anything within the realms of structural integration, it is advisable that you guys cover your myofascial release, maybe look back at all the other videos that I have, because it's essential that we focus on trying to sequence your progression slowly as we move along through this. It's very easy to get ahead of yourself when it comes to doing exercises. So before you jump out of something like this, make sure you cover that foundation, so that way we prevent any kind of injuries later on down the road. Let's get this bad boy started. Before we start this exercise, we're going to need a Dynamax medicine ball. This is a 10-pounder. I tend to like using a Dynamax over other medicine balls simply because it tends to align with my shoulders a lot better whenever I'm gripping the sucker, so I tend to like using a Dynamax medicine ball more. To start the movement, what I want you guys to focus on is being able to get yourself into a deep squat position. If you're not capable of getting yourself here in the first place, it's likely you will not be able to do this movement. You might be able to get away with making certain types of compensations when you go into this exercise, but to rest assured knowing that you're going to be able to make it through this exercise, you need to be able to get into a deep squat. Another specific to focus on is where my feet are pointed while I'm in a deep squat. They're pointed straight ahead. I'm not doing the Olympic lifter positioning. Not that the Olympic lifting thing is all that wrong, but if we're trying to think about using something for functionality specifically here, where we're going to utilize the legs in the sagittal plane to jump forward, it's going to be essential that we actually maintain the feet at about hip width distance. So let's go move on into the movement, which will be us going into kind of a roll back. So we're going to be starting from a standing position. I'm going to be coming down into my deep squat. From there, I'm going to roll back. I'm actually going to roll my spine. I'm actually going to round my spine here, which is kind of counterintuitive to what I normally tell you guys, because I'm always telling you to maintain a neutral spine. This is going to be one of the few times where I'll tell you to not maintain a neutral spine, simply because if you do, you're going to get stuck to the floor. So you're going to actually want to roll back and forth. Actually, you want to create almost like a C-curve with the spine. Now, don't worry about what that's going to do for your mechanics. As we transition out of the mobility stage, we're actually going to then move back into the neutral spine when we finish out the range of motion. So we're standing up, we come down, we roll back, we hit that C-curve, then we're going to come right back up into the deep squat position once again. So I come down, I roll. From there, as you slowly begin to get that movement down, if you can get into that deep squat, you're going to then move into your standing position. When you get to that standing position, really focus on trying to get your posture down. Make sure your thoracic extended spine is neutral. Glutes are fairly engaged, maybe about 30% of gluteal engagement. We come right back down, hinging up the hips back, rolling, coming up, we stand. Once you get that movement down, now we're going to incorporate a jump along with that. So we go here, rolling back, coming up, jumping. You guys see this is going to just kind of be the prep movements to help you load this specific exercise a little bit better. Once you get that movement down, we're then going to sequence it with a medicine ball. We're going to go right back to standing, only this time we're going to use an arm swing to help us propel the movement upward. We come down, rolling back, we swing the arms. That's going to help bring us back into the squat position. Now, using the medicine ball sometimes actually makes it a little bit easier, so you'll find that by grabbing the medicine ball, it might make this a little bit of an easier transition to do the movement. So try using that arm swing. It'll give you great assistance in propelling your movement forward. So we grab the ball, coming back, we swing the arms, and we go back to standing. Coming down, and then from there, we're going to go into the jump and then the slam. Coming back down once again. Okay, so that's going to be the main parts that we have to focus on with the exercise. The other part would just be simply doing a burpee. I'm going to be here just reaching down into the ball, hinging my hips back, kicking my legs back, dropping into a push-up if I have the strength. If I don't, I just maintain that position. But typically I like to drop down into a push-up. As I push up with my hands, I like to actually bring my legs forward as well. And that brings me back into a standing position. So I go here, boom, and that's usually what I like to do whenever I come up. I involve the push, and then I involve myself standing up. Once I sequence it into one movement, I go here, roll back, I jump, and then slam. After I get all those sequences put together, I then incorporate the full movement, which I'll be demonstrating for you guys right now. Okay, so I'm going into grabbing the ball. Just bring that camera closer. I go into grabbing the ball. I'm going to start right here, almost what would be a deadlift position. I kick my legs back. I come back, grabbing onto the ball, roll back, swing my legs forward, swing my arms forward, jump, and then I slam the ball. I repeat the cycle, push up, kick my legs forward, roll back, swing the legs forward, swing the arms forward, jump in the sagittal plane, and slam. Another thing to be crucial is at the slamming point that you don't let your knees dip forward. That will put a lot of pressure right here on your patellar tendons. We don't want that. At the point of slamming, you're going to go here, bring your butt back, so that way you incorporate more usage of your posterior chain. Going back to it, I come down, push up, bring myself up. I'm going to do a real one for you. All right, let's give them a side view over here. Right, so we're going to give you guys a side view of what this movement looks like. In, coming down, pushing up, bringing the legs forward. Woo! Very difficult exercise, extremely challenging on that nervous system. Lots of ranges of motion. If you look at my knee range of motion, I'm incorporating a big deep squat. I'm incorporating full extension out of my hips. I'm incorporating extension out of the arms. Taking my lats to a dynamic movement as well. Going into arm flexion. Lots of interesting stuff happening just with that one movement. As you can also see, it's just one exercise and how winded and how I'm already sweating profusely just with that one single movement. That tells you as to how many muscles you're probably recruiting while you're doing that one sucker right there. Be sure to focus on your posture before you get yourself doing a movement like this. If you tend to have that anterior pelvic shift or any kind of a kyphotic posture in your upper body, it's likely this will not be an advantageous exercise for you. I do hope you guys enjoyed that video. Be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel for more updates. This is Naughty Aguilar, reminding you to live intentionally and not habitually. I'll see you guys next time.